What's up with my APA family? It's your boy L, APA, coming through with another video. You already know what we do here. Kick tails for the youngsters to be offenders, you know, by way of my experiences. Hopefully, man, just hopefully, they'll think twice before going into the system again, or to begin with. And as you can tell by the good old caption, that thumbnail, that uña. Rest in peace to Baya from Colonia, Chicas. This happened around 2018. Around 2018, I want to say. I want to say 2018. Dude was about 39, 40 years old. He was my neighbor at Kern Valley. We were on the other side. We were on D Yard at Kern Valley. You know, on the 4 yard right there. And 4 block. And, you know, when I first got there, you know, I got there to B section. You know, didn't know what to expect. You know, I just spent 6 months in the hole, transitioning into onto the side. And, you know, it's funny because when I first rolled up, funny footnote, there was about 4 of us that got kicked out to D Yard at the same time. And all 4 of us, obviously, we came from A or B Yard. We were all active, and we all got kicked out at the same time. So we legitimately had never been to an SNY. One of the homies, I recognized him. I had never spoken a single word to him, but I used to see him on the yard down here every day. And then the other 2, I think, came from B Yard, but I was on A Yard at Kern Valley. So we're in the back. I'm back there for 6 months, whatnot. So when we get kicked out, we're walking along the program office, the little patio out there before you go down to the lower yard. And they open up the gate, and we're walking, right? You can see the yard as always, pull up bars, tables, things like that, the handball court, the basketball court. And we're walking towards 4 block first. That's where they ended up putting me. And I remember walking, man. The CO didn't even follow us or nothing. And I think that's when it kind of dawned on us, like, this is it. We're here, you know? Because, you know, usually you get escorted, things like that. We're coming from the hole. That's what we're used to. But after a while, you look back, there ain't no CO following us, nothing. Boom. I think we all kind of looked around, looked at each other. All right, let's get this, you know? And as we were walking, me being the man that I am, I've always liked clowning, man. I really don't clown on my YouTube, shit like that, but in real life, I cap. About halfway there, I remember looking around and looking at one of the homies that I didn't know. I remember saying, imagine a bunch of chirujos, jumpers coming in. So, you know, no disrespect to the gay community, nothing like that, but, you know, you hear about trannies being on the side, gay boy gangsters, things like that. And when we didn't know, you know, I just said it just fucking around, just to break the ice. I'm like, imagine fucking bunch of chirujos hit us up right now. Anywho, that didn't happen, of course. Actually, they had him in 1 block, but there was only like 2 of them. And they had been getting him off the yard. I'll make a video on it later. But they had been removing every single one of them so that they could be sent to C Yard. That yard was surprisingly, it was like a GP yard, bro. Honestly, it functioned like a GP yard, but nobody telling you what to do. They had the gang members in 5 or 6 block. You know, we see the gang members in school, and back there, you know, programs, freaking night meetings, things like that. You know, and they mixed us up with them, but they just weren't in the lower yard. And so I get there, man. Obviously, my celly from Salas, Gato from Salas, man. I don't remember what neighborhood he was from, man. But he had been on that side since 2001, so he had been there for almost 20 years, bro. That's a long ass time. He checked in when fucking SNY was rare. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine what that fool seen. So I was a little apprehensive, but after about a couple of days, I started gauging the dude. He didn't have bad paperwork in the sense where he told, or he's a child molester or something like that, you know? So I didn't have no issue with that, you know? And then I ended up moving out, you know? He was getting close to going home. He didn't want, my hustle was making Pruno and burning lightning, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't want to get a ride up. He was scary, and this, of course, it's understandable, man. He was close to the pad and shit. but he used to sell it as well, you know. So it's kind of like a little freaking contradiction right there for him, you know. Anywho, I ended up moving to A section, and that's where I landed with Baya from Colonia Chicas, you know. And I just give you guys a little footnote just so you guys get the feeling for how it was when I got there. And I was right there with the homie, man, and his family used to take care of him, man. His family used to take care of him. Shout outs to his family. But unfortunately, homie, he used to get high a lot. You know, he used to get high a lot because he had it like that. You know, he had it like that. He's one of them dudes that I don't know who specifically used to take care of him, but I know his family had bank because he had packages. You know, he would have had a phone, but they were so rare in that yard that he couldn't buy one because there was none for sale. So just renting the phones out was what we had to do. And so yeah, man, his celly at the time was a little short, good, cool motherfucker, man. He was Asian, man. I think he was either Cambodian or I think he was Cambodian or Filipino, one of the two. He was real dark, but he was Asian. And so we just talked to him, whatever. Baya's daughter's graduation was coming up. She was graduating from junior high. So he's like, hey, my boy, I heard you draw, you know, like, hey, what's up, man? You know, can you do a little something for my daughter? You know, I'll slide you a little something. And I told him, like, look, don't even trip. I don't charge for, because I know I have my daughter. I love my daughter, you know, and I used to always do drawings for her. But I wasn't drawing at the time anymore because homies ain't able to pay what the drawings are worth, you know. For me to make a $50 a baño or a drawing, it's quite frankly, it's not worth $50. It's worth $200 and up at least, especially for the time and labor that you put in on it, especially for the quality of my work. You know, I ain't the best, but I sure ain't the worst. You know, so, but I told him, don't trip, homie. Look, I don't got much time on my hands. I can't say that I'm doing a drawing for you, but I'll do a nice card for you. You know, and he's like, all right, cool, hell yeah. He's like, she likes Hello Kitty. So I was like, all right, cool, sounds perfect. You know, so I get to work, you know, I do a little regular. It's for a little young girl, you know. No matter of fact, I think she was graduating elementary, my bad, because she was still young. I remember him saying she's still young. So anywho, yeah, I think my daughter was barely into high school. This was years ago. So I get the car done, I slide it over to him, man. I actually took my time on it. And man, he was appreciative. He was like, man, homie, gracias, dog. Appreciate that, bro. Got you. This is not something. Don't even trip, dog. You know, if I'm ever hungry and I need something, I just hit you up. But if other than that, I'm cool. Don't even trip, homie. So yeah, man. That's what it was. The homie had been. He still had like 20 something years to do. I'm not sure what got him to go to the side or whatnot. But I was in the hole with Squeaks from Colonia Chicas. And he never paroled to an SNY yard, you know. He's another homie that got done dirty, and that's a video it went in and of itself. But I had let him know that Squeaks is back there. He's like, oh shit, man, I hope he gets kicked out here. And I was like, he would most likely, but he's not gonna want to. He's gonna keep postponing until he paroles, because he only had 6 months to go. And sure enough, he left while I was there, you know. Squeaks left while I was there. And you know, but my point of the story is the following. About, I want to say maybe 3 weeks to a month after, man, I'm sitting in my cell working on whatever I'm working on, and I hear the cop, boom, boom, boom. Hey, let me see your, hey, move. Let me see your face, or let me move. Just move, you know. Cell check. And he used to do that every day because Baya used to sleep in, because he used to go to sleep late as fuck at night, and loaded as fuck, you know, doing his thing. I don't judge the man. I did that shit myself a few times myself, you know. I ain't judging nobody. You're in there, you're trying to escape your realities, your emotions, your PTSD, whatever the fuck you're trying to escape. You do it by way of relaxation in your veins, through your nose, whatnot. And you know, he had the money, you know, but he also used to eat good, so it didn't all go to drugs. So anywho, CO, I was used to CO being like, hey, move your leg, and that fool inevitably will move his leg, and the CO will pass my cell, and then he'll go down the stairs. Because I was in the second to last cell in the top tier on A section, the one closest to B section. And this one morning, he's like, hey, move your leg, move your leg, move your leg. Told him like 3 or 4 times. After he told him that many times, I was like, wait, what's going on? And he started banging the door. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, move your leg, hey, move. And then eventually, he's like, hey, crack cell, I think it was I was in 222, I think. So 221 or 220, one of those 2 cells. Crack 220, whatever, 221. And within, I heard him in there trying to wake him up, man. Within 10 seconds, I heard that dude say, oh shit. And then boom, the alarm, pressed the alarm. And boom, you know, everybody in the day room got down, which is just the porters. And a gang of cops sorted up the fucking stairs, rushed the cell, not in a bad way, they just rushed into the cell. And they pulled him out by his mattress. They pulled his mattress out with him. He's a big boy. He was about 6'3", 210, 15, 20 pounds solid, you know. He was a big boy. So they drug him out, and he landed right in front of my window, right in front of my cell. I could see him on the floor on his mattress, while the cop started giving him CPR, or at least he was trying to. He was asleep like this. He was asleep like this. This is the position that he was in his mattress. The amount of strength that it took that cop to open up his arms told me that he was already gone. Rigor mortis. He was as stiff as freaking a board, bro. Yeah, he was gone. You know, and they started pumping him, and in my mind I was like, fuck. I think the cop heard me say, fuck. Because I've seen several dead bodies, bro. And I know when you're stiff like that, it's rigor mortis. You're done. You know, you die, and you don't start getting stiff until at least 20, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, somewhere around that area. You know, and your brain can't live without oxygen for more than 6 to 8 minutes. So once you're stiff, you're gone. You know, even if they could have for some miracle revived him, he would have been brain dead. You know, and you know, I hope, my condolences, my respect, my apologies to the family, of course. If it's too hard to hear this, but if you were wondering what happened, he's not the first one that dies with me right there, man. I've had the misfortune of having at least a handful of dudes die on me, where I know exactly what happened, and I could give their family that closure. You know, so they found him. They literally found him dead, asleep. His cellie used to go to work at 4:30 in the morning to the kitchen. So even though his cellie, I don't know, you know, when you go down the bed, you're trying to be as quiet as possible. So for anybody out there wondering if he could have, hey, he should have checked on him, he could have saved him, that type. Well, you really can't. You're trying to be as quiet as possible out of courtesy for your cellie to keep quiet, right? So there's no way he would have checked. You know, there's no way he would have checked, because he wasn't going to try to wake him up. You know, and if a cell's dark and things like that, brushing your teeth, whatnot, you leave, he probably never even knew that he was dead. That's assuming he died before, during that night. But I think he probably died somewhere around 7:30 in the morning, hours after his cellie left, honestly, because of rigor mortis thing. Because after that, from what I understand, your body softens up again after a certain period of time. So yeah, man, they took his cellie to the hole, you know, because anytime somebody dies, for those of you that don't know, anytime one of your cellies dies, they don't care if it was you or not. You gonna go to the hole for investigation. The first initial is 90 days, then another extension until they figure out what it is, give the verdict, and then they kick you out, you know, or you do a shoot term and whatnot. You know, it's prison, that's the protocol, that's policy, that's what it is. And I remember feeling bad because the cellie was cool as fuck, and man, just like that, went to the hole. And it don't matter if you're in the hole, if you're innocent or not. Oh, I'm gonna beat it anyways, man. I ain't gonna do no dude, you're doing the time. You know, you're doing the shoot term. Anytime you're in the hole, you're there, you're doing the shoot term. It don't matter if you fucking get found not guilty or guilty. It's fucked up, you know, especially if you didn't do it. And I already know Haseli didn't do it, you know. That's a fact, you know. The homie used to love getting high, and he used to do a lot of fentanyl, a lot, bro. You know, you go to sleep one time, and that's more than enough, you know, for you to die in your sleep. You know, your heart, that shit gives you cardiac arrest, and you're already asleep. Your body's already calm. So he died in his sleep, man, unfortunately. You know, and you know, rest in peace to him. This is in response to somebody, to one of my my loyal supporters, one of my friends. I appreciate her. Sage asked me to do a video on Colonia Chicas. I will continue to do so as far as where I can. But I appreciate you requesting that, and I, you know, hope I can shed some light while giving this story. Good dude, man. Every single dude for Colonia Chicas that I've ever met, man, was cool people. With the business, it is what it is, man. But anywho, man, you guys be good, man. Rest in peace to Payaso. You know, it's just life tragedy strikes at any moment. Love your loved ones, man. And I wish the best for his daughter, man, because I know that's one of the first things I remember thinking. Man, his daughter's it's gonna hit her hard, you know, because that was her dad, bro. That was her dad. And I remember thinking at least for a while, that at least my card will be the last thing, one of the last things that she remembers from her dad, and shares that card, you know. But don't forget, guys, prison's not the place to be. One life saved is one life blessed. A smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from other people's mistakes.